friends, this is Ram Lakshmanan, architect of Ycrash. Today we are going to talk about the topic you might be wasting millions of dollars in garbage collection.
Okay friends, first let's discuss what is garbage. Today we are building different types of applications, microservices, IoT, mobile applications, web applications, SOA applications, whatever be the application, we are building applications. And these applications are meant to serve the incoming request. Let's say a customer is trying to sign on to your application. The customer sign on request comes to your application. When this request comes to your application ends up creating multiple objects. That is, it creates a servlet request object. It creates a servlet response object. It creates a customer object. Customer object is going to have two fields, username, password. And then it's creating a data access object. And then it's creating a connection object to make a connection to the backend database. And now it's getting the result set back. It's an object. And it authenticates. Once it's authenticated, then it sends back creates a JSON payload and writes it into the response object and sends it back. So an application ends up creating multiple objects to service a simple incoming request. Okay. Say once the request has been served, then what's going to happen to the objects that has been created in memory? Right? You created objects. The objects are sitting in memory. What's going to happen to these objects? Right. So these objects now become garbage because once these objects have been created and the request has been served, there is no more active reference. There is no more need for the object which has been created to service this request. So now they became garbage. So this garbage has to be evicted. These objects has to be removed from the memory so that the space is available to serve the other incoming requests. Okay. So now let's discuss how the garbage is getting collected from your applications. So for that, we'll just briefly look at the evolution of garbage collection. Like 3-4 decades back, a developer, a programmer, he has to write code. He has to write the code manually. In his program, he has to write the code to evict the objects from memory. That is, once he created objects, once it's serviced, then he has to write the code to evict those objects from memory. So there was a challenge to this approach because your application logic is quite complex. There are multiple use cases, there are multiple workflows, there is multiple functions. So once you have to write the code to evict those objects from each and every aspect, each and every layer. So developers, even if he misses to evict the object from one particular function, then those objects tend to grow in memory. Then it will result in memory leak, causing memory problems. So memory problems were quite pervasive. In 1995, when Java came into picture, it promised, hello developers, you don't worry about doing the garbage collection. Me as a platform, I will take care of evicting or removing the garbage from memory. You don't worry. As a runtime platform, I will take care of doing it. See, even before Java came into existence, there were other languages earlier who were doing automatic garbage collection. But Java projected it in a big way, and then it also became a big hit. Developers really loved the feature because now they don't have to write the code to eliminate the garbage from their application. They can only focus on the business logic. And management really liked it because it's a less memory leak and less memory errors. So fantastic. Automatic garbage collection is fantastic, and which is really good. I really like it. Okay. But this garbage collection, this automatic garbage collection, poses a couple of side effects, right? What are those side effects? The first side effect is CPU consumption. See, modern applications, the request keeps coming always. And modern applications, they tend to create tons of objects even to service simple requests. So they create thousands, millions of objects to keep servicing the incoming request. Since the request keeps coming in, your application keeps creating tons of objects. A garbage collector has to be running, automatic garbage collector has to be running constantly in the background. It has to be running always. So since it has to run always, it consumes enormous amount of CPU. Say if your application's CPU consumption is like at a 50-60%, I can easily say 30-40% of CPU consumption goes to garbage collection. Because constantly it has to keep marking what are all the active objects in memory and what are the inactive objects. So inactive objects has to be evicted from the memory. Once they are evicted, your memory gets fragmented. So the fragmented memory has to be compacted. All these needs enormous amount of compute cycles. That is one side effect. That is enormous CPU computation is needed. The second side effect is when garbage collection runs, it momentarily pauses your application. It momentarily freezes your application so that it can mark what are the active objects and what are the inactive objects. So when it is pausing, that means what's going to happen if any customer requests are coming to your application, you will not get back any response until the garbage collection completes. So sometimes your customer says, oh, I didn't get any response from your application, but few seconds later, I got response. When you get those kind of complaints, it could be very possible, very likely, your garbage collector could be running at the background. And when the garbage collector, it pauses your application. For certain applications, it may pause for a few milliseconds. Some applications, it may be few seconds. For some applications, it will be several seconds. But I have seen in worst cases to take even few minutes. Okay. So you now end up having these two side effects with this automatic garbage collection. So when someone is studying for the garbage collection, right? When someone is trying to study the garbage collection behavior, one of the key metric they study is called as a GC throughput. Okay. So what does GC throughput mean? Okay. Say suppose if someone says my application's GC throughput is 98%. What does it mean is this application is spending 98% of its time in processing the customer activity and 2% of time in processing the garbage collection activity. Let me repeat. If someone says this application is 98% throughput, it means this application is spending 98% of its time in processing the customer transactions and 2% of time in processing the garbage collection activity. Okay. So how does 98% throughput sound to you? See, I don't know who coined this GC throughput in terms of percentage. He is very, very clever. He is very, very smart, but there is something deceiving going on. See, when someone says 98% throughput, our human mind is trained to think it is a phenomenal throughput because 98% means it's a grade, it's a plus grade. That's what our human mind has been trained to think. But it is really deceiving. Look at this. In one day, there is 1440 minutes, right? If someone says this application is having a 98% GC throughput, it means 2% is spent in garbage collection. 2% of 1440 minutes is 28.8 minutes per day, which is close to half an hour. That means for half an hour, your application is pausing. For half an hour, your application is freezing. So any transactions that comes during this half an hour window, they are not going to get back a response. That means in terms of 1 year, it means 7.3 days per year, your application is not responding. It means your application has gone on a holiday. See, say it is even worse than going on a holiday. Say suppose if I go on a holiday, that means there are other peers in my organization who will do my job. Whereas in this garbage collection, what it's doing is, if this garbage collection is running, there are not others to cover up for you because this application is pausing, the application is sleeping. It means I'm being paid to do my work, but I'm sleeping in my organization, right? Which is very bad. So let's see what does this translates in terms of dollar value. Let's focus, let's say your application is having a 98% throughput. It means in one day, it's not going to do any work for 28.8 minutes. But for this 28.8 minutes, you need to pay to your cloud provider because cloud provider doesn't give you any discount if your application goes on a garbage collection. So for our math, I took an Amazon EC2 instance, a T2 2x large 32 gig Red Hat Linux instance, whose cost is $0.57 per hour, right? Say suppose you are a mid-size organization and you are running on a 1000 EC2 instance, and let's say your application's GC throughput is 98%. That means for the 2% multiplied by these 1000 EC2 instances for 1 year, you end up paying $100,000 to your cloud provider, but you're not going to get any return on that. If you are a large organization who is running on a 10,000 EC2 instance, that means you are looking at wasting $1 million US. If you are a very large enterprise who is running with 100,000 EC2 instances, then you are looking at wasting $10 million US every single year. Assume if your throughput is 95%, that means in very large organization, they are wasting $25 million US per year. See, 95% is still considered as a good throughput in industry, sadly. But I've seen applications who's having a 90% throughput, 85% throughput, 80% throughput. Then think how many millions of dollars those enterprises are wasting. See, friends, a very sad and a very unfortunate truth is a lot of enterprises are wasting these many millions of dollars without even knowing that they are wasting. Right? Enterprises, they are trying to reduce the cost in several areas, but there is a big area here which can be optimized, but they didn't even, a lot of enterprise doesn't even know they are wasting these many millions of dollars. Right? So what we can do? What can we do about this? There is a couple of things we can do. The number one is we can tune the garbage collection performance, right? With proper GC settings, with adjusting various parameters, you can improve your GC throughput. Say if today's GC throughput is at 85%, you can optimize it and get it to 95%, 98, 99%. You can optimize it. That is one thing that you can do. The second thing is, we as a developer community, right now in the description I'll publish a white paper which shows even a very highly celebrated frameworks, they waste exorbitant amount of memory because of inefficient programming practices. Today as a development community, we all can come along to write a memory efficient code. If you're creating less objects, it means less garbage. Less garbage means less process, right? And it will result in a phenomenal cost saving. And you're reducing your overall compute capacity, which is a green economy that what entire world is aspiring towards, heading towards, and we all can be a part of it. Okay, friends, thank you very much for watching this video.